This right here is a puppy. And puppies are a blank slate. That means whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. And most people make a big mistake with puppies is they play too much with them and they don't give them enough structure. So they end up with a big dog that has no structure and doesn't understand what he should be doing and what he shouldn't be doing. So the first thing you want to do when you have a puppy is make sure he's fitted with a good collar and a good leash, because you don't want to be chasing the dog around. That becomes a game to the puppy. So as you see, this puppy runs away and runs away and runs away. It's super simple for me to catch him because he has a leash on. So the first thing you're going to need with your puppy is going to be, like I said, a nice collar and a leash. And I use a long line, about a 12-foot line. You can buy them on Amazon. You can buy them at your local pet store. The collar I like to use on a puppy is going to be a Martingale collar. I think it's the most beneficial collar to start the dog off with, the puppy off with, because it gives them a simple connection to us. Remember, every part of what we do with the puppy is traveling down the leash or down the line. We want to make everything positive with the puppy. We want the puppy to have tons of good experiences, and we want to kind of limit the corrections we give the dog, because the dog doesn't understand what he's doing wrong yet. We can only give a dog corrections if they understand what they're doing wrong. So I'm going to hold on to this line and I'm going to let him run around like a crazy man that he is, and I'm going to give him rewards when he gets near me. I'm going to try to use things that he likes, like treats, so that he's rewarded for all his interaction with me. And I'm going to keep the rewards coming with something like this. So let me get him, because he's over there behind the camera, and my camera person has treats in their pouch, which is really distracting for a puppy. Come here, puppy. Remember, everything the puppy is distracted by, you have to be more interesting then. So using rewards is going to be the way to do it. And I'm going to start, first thing I want to teach this dog is that I have a reward, right? So the more he sees that I have a reward, the more likely he's going to come to me. Everything with puppies is going to be based on reward training. There's not going to be any compulsion. There's not going to be a lot of corrections, but this dog is going to see me as the bringer of everything good. When you first get your puppy, hand feed your puppy. Spend a week or two hand feeding the puppy so the puppy knows. The reason the puppy has such a strong bond to the mother is because the mother has milk in her breast and he's getting that all the time. If you don't have milk in your breast, put something in your hand that can get the dog to engage to you. And something like cheese or hot dogs, make sure it's all natural, organic, so that the dog can get a reward out of it, and it keeps the dog really, really healthy. So now that the dog knows I have a reward, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk away from him and he's going to come. So the very first thing I'm going to teach my dog is to follow me. Because the hardest thing for the dog to understand is, why should he follow you? And the only reason he should really follow you is because you have something he wants. So with him, I have the treat, right? So every time he's away from me, come, 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 he has a reward. So the first thing I teach a puppy is the recall. And to teach the recall, since he already knows I have the treat, I'm the bringer of everything good for this puppy. He's sitting already. Come, come, come. Yes. Now he doesn't know what come means, but he knows that when I run away and he comes to me, I have cheese. Because of that, he'll start to put the pieces together that when I move away from him, two things happen. One is it triggers his prey drive, come, come, come. And two is it gets him a reward. And he likes this reward. Right now I'm teaching him the word. And what he's doing, he's coming. Come, come, come. I'm putting a word to his action, which later will become a command. Good boy. And I let him nibble. And I'm going to show you something here. I want to get a close-up on this because this is critical. Everybody says the puppy is biting my hand when he takes the treat, because you're holding the treat like this and the puppy is going to bite your cuticle and it hurts. I want you to hold the treat between these three fingers and he's going to nibble. Let's get really close on this. There. He's just nibbling the food. And there's a lot more food in my pouch, so he's going over there. But here, you can see, also keep your hand really dry. Wipe it off often. Keep the treat here and let him nibble, 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 and nibble. So that's the very first thing we teach our puppy, is how to follow us, how to get reward from following us, and most importantly, we start tagging the word to it. So your recall is the first thing you're going to teach your puppy. Start by hand feeding, having treats in your hand, so whenever the puppy comes to me, there's rewards involved. That's the single most important step with your puppy. So next, let's look at forming some basic behaviors for the dog, some basic movements. Using a placeboard for your dog is really, really, really important. What we want to teach the dog is to be on a different surface, right? And this here is a little raised bed that I love to use with my dogs. And here I'm going to start teaching him some basic positions. The first one is going to be down. And to teach him the down, I'm going to hold the treat to his nose, bring it between his toes. I'm going to wait till that little butt hits the ground, and it might take some time, right? So here, there he goes. Yeah, good boy. And he starts to get more and more treats when his butt hits the floor. From there, I'm going to move him to a stand because that's a natural position. Notice I'm not teaching the dog a sit. I'm going to get him to go down, good boy, and hold it, go back down. Right now, what I'm trying to shape is the biomechanics of this movement. That means from here, from a stand to a down. I'm not telling him the command yet until he does it. Nope, because remember, he's not doing it. Unlike the recall where he was coming to me, here he's trying to get the treat, but he's not getting it. And again, I'm holding it between my fingers, just like I showed you before. I don't want to pull the cheese away from him just yet, but I want to show you that here, when he goes down, some dogs you can help push down by pushing their shoulders back. Other dogs will rebel against it and don't like it. So you have to wait for, yeah, good boy. And I gave him the whole treat that time. Down. And look how perfectly he's doing it now. Good, stand. And teach your dog to stand. This is an important position for the dog to learn. Good, stand, and down. Good. Notice how easy he's doing it now. Now he understands the biomechanics. Now I can tell him down, put the treat down, and he goes down. I can go from here and say down, put the treat down, and he automatically goes down. And you've solved one of your first big problems, and that is how to get your puppy to lie down. If you want to see the stay commands and all that, that's going to come much, much later. For the first few weeks, your puppy is going to require you to have treats. Everything's going to have to be lured. You're going to need to use treats to get him to go down every single time so that he starts to learn there's a reward involved every single time. So what I'm going to teach him this time is a little place command, which we're later going to train into a crate command. We're going to do a little crate training with this dog. So I'm going to get him here. He gets on there. I go, yes. And I put a treat on there. Hey, come here. Good, here. When he gets on there, there's a treat, right? And when he gets off, there's nothing. So here, I'm going to get here. Yes. I'm going to mark that. There's a marker word. Some people use clickers. I use a marker word because it's easier because I lose clickers. But here, I get the dog to go on. Yes. And there's a treat on the bed. The treat is on the bed, not in my hand. Come here. So here, yes. Place work, very important for a puppy. What you'll start to see after a few repetitions of this is that the puppy doesn't want to get off the place. He's getting more hesitant to get off because he knows that all the rewards are on the place. All 4 feet are on the bed and he's there. So watch what I can do now. Now I can kind of put the treat on here and show it to him and take him away from it and send him to it. How amazing is that, right? I show him the treat, I put the treat on the bed, and I take him away and I say, go to your place. How amazing is that? So here, to teach the dog to sit, we start with a stand and we put it up over his nose and I gently guide his butt down. Good boy, good sit. And this is going to be more important with a hyper puppy like him and when I'm using a super, super high value reward like hot dogs. Here, he's going to start chewing on my hand. Remember your hand position, your finger position is this. So he can't really hurt you as much. He can still hurt. It still hurts. Good. Nope. Sit. Good boy. Yeah, good boy. Good. Sit. And do everything from this position for now. Good. Sit. Good boy. Yeah. Look at that. I mean, he's just crazy for the treats. Good. Sit. Good. Sit. Sit. Good. Sit. 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 Yeah. Good boy. Good boy. What I don't want the dog doing is flopping into a sit. It just makes it look terrible. Here, I lift the treat up, watch where his back feet are, and watch it, he sits right from there. He didn't take a step back to sit, he sat right where I had him. Good boy, come here. And remember, do not teach the dog to go to a down from a sit. Teach him to stand and down. Good. Stand and sit. The movement here is very important. This is the top of the arrow, this is the middle of the arrow, and this is the bottom of the arrow. I should say the arrowhead, right? Bottom of the arrowhead, middle of the arrowhead, top of the arrowhead. That one piece is worth everything. Good boy. When he's kind of pushing me for more, that's when I stop, because I want this interaction from the dog. I want him saying, let's do more, let's do more, let's do more. I don't want to push him to a place where he's running away from me and not wanting to be near me, because that's when you have a problem with your dog, and that's when you're going to fall into a big crisis in dog training, because you're going to have to force your dog to train, and that is no way to teach a dog at all.